Friends, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about digital world acquisition and what's going to be going on here. Will we see $100 in the next 2 weeks here with what's going to be happening? Obviously. So, a little bit of news out here. The market is starting to come back a little bit. It's starting to find its feet again and where it's going to land. AI is taking off, so it's controlling the general market right now. So if AI is doing good, the general market is doing good. And crypto is kind of, the dust is settled. It's finding a new little place, a new high, which is very interesting. And we think there's going to be another bull run on crypto, but I'm not a crypto guy. I just put money in it and I let it ride. I'm not even going into that. So the other little bit of news here, Biden is about to give the State of the Union, maybe his last one. And God almighty, I'm hoping he does good. I really do mean that. Please pull this thing off. Please don't screw it up. So, digital world acquisition. Let's talk about what's going on here. So, the general news with Trump is that he is the devil. Everyone hates him, and that's what you'll see if you look on the news sites here, and they are trying to sue him for $1 trillion, billion, $1 million trillion, and he doesn't care. And that stuff that happened last week with digital world acquisition, diluting the stock, someone accusing him of, it has been swept underneath the table. No one's talking about it. Great, good. That's what we want to see. And as far as we know, the deal is still going through here at in essentially 2 weeks. So we more than likely will start to see things hype up here, really get moving on digital world acquisition. Now, here's what I'm going to say about the situation. I really do believe that you, as an investor, need to set feelings aside from true social. And here's what I mean by what I'm about to say. This is where you have to be, figure out what kind of investor you are. Obviously, I'm a long-term investor, but I can't allow myself to be naive to the situation that we're watching right now. I've said this once, I'll say it again, I've said this many times, but I am in this play right now, at the moment, strictly as a hype play. This is strictly hype play. So, for everyone coming on here talking about, I'm not talking about quarterlies, money, deal, all that, no duh, I know that. Save your breath, I know this. I never have been. I've always said this, what I'm saying right now. This is strictly a hype play. So in the next 2 weeks, we could be expecting True Social, Digital World to combine here, and True Social to be on the market here, and where you're able to trade it under the name True Social. And with that too, we more than likely will see the stock run up here. Let's just go with the minimum here that the stock would hit 55, anywhere maybe a $70 mark. And I'm playing light. I'm playing light here. Now, of course, everyone has their own expectations, what it could be. Anywhere from $100 to $500. This is what people are saying. Is that possible? Absolutely, it's possible, because anything's possible in this market. And there's no rules to what it has to be or can't be or what it won't be. Saying that, I really think you need to set emotions aside and don't be naive to sharks in the water right now. I think the majority of people that are in this right now, the majority are in this to make profit. And when there's profit on the table, you really need to think about what your price point is, because I know a lot of you have been holding on since $15 to $20 to $17. That's great, man. That really is. Don't be naive to think that, if we do see 70 to 60 to 50, even 55, or maybe something crazy, maybe a triple digit number here, when this merge does happen, don't let yourself get so caught up in just wanting to be a part of True Social. Now, obviously, do what you want to do as your own investor, but this is my advice. This is just me, because I've seen these things play out so many times in the market. There will be a huge initial run on this stock, but there will be a huge sell-off, and there will be a moment where people will go, "Oh my God, I should have sold. It was at X amount. I should have sold." Because there will more than likely be 2 huge bull runs on this stock this year. The first one is coming up here in 2 weeks with this merger, as long as it goes through. The next will probably be somewhere in September, October, November, more than likely October, November, when It's obviously going to be Biden and Trump running here. Trump, beat off the competition. So really think about where you want to be price point in this stock, where you're like, I'm going to sell out at X and I'm going to let it sit and I'm going to come back. Because here's what we know. This is the gut, and I think most investors will agree with this if you've been in the market for any time. This thing is going to peak at some big number. It's going to peak. It may be a split of a second. It will have a fall from grace. Now, whether that fall from grace is maybe $60 throughout the summer, or maybe it's $20 throughout the summer, but the hype will die down. The hype will die down. I guarantee you. It will die down over the summer for a moment, but it will come back. So what I'm trying to say is, I obviously people are in this to make money. So really just don't allow yourself to get too attached to where you're like, I want to be a part of True Social. There's plenty of time to be part of True Social. If the deal happens, there's plenty of time. Don't worry about that, because I can guarantee you this time next year, True Social will probably be dirt cheap, because all that will be left at that point are people that got into it because they just knew it was owned by Trump and they want to be a part of something with Trump. People that are bag holding it, and people that are willing to stay in it for a while until they see quarterlies, and the pumping will be gone at that moment. So just try not to get too greedy, try not to get too attached, and don't, and I'm talking to myself here, like I've been here before, like I have been here. Just don't be naive to think that this thing could just keep running, because there are people that are not just holding 20 shares, 30 shares, 100 shares. There are people that are holding thousands of shares of this stock for $15 to $20. And if they see it go to 60 to 70 to a triple digit number, they are going to take their money and run, because they have made a crap load of profit and they know the dust is going to settle. And even if they come back in, they sold at 70 and they come back 2 weeks later and they buy at 30, 40, they're good, man. They're good. They took a huge profit. They're in. They just made a whole year's salary for most blue-collar workers. So just don't allow yourself to get so wrapped up in this, I want to be a part of True Social. There's plenty of time to be a part of True Social. So when I talk to people, I read comments, even on chat sites, I see a lot of people, I see a lot of things, but, I do see people saying, I just want to be a part of True Social. I just want to be a part of it. I trust Trump, all that. That's great. That's great, man. But just know what this is right now. This is strictly a hype play at this moment. We're not talking about longevity of True Social in money, quarterlies, debt ratio to share price, all that. We're so far from that right now. So detached from that at the moment. That stuff, as long as the deal happens, we'll be looking at and we'll be talking about. And True Social, yeah, they should be making a shitload of money this year. This is probably the biggest year to a start of a company that they will ever have, because the owner is the former and possibly could be the new president of the United States. So they have a great spokesperson. They have a great hype person attached to the company. So I just hear what I'm saying in that. I don't want. I just don't want people to. These are mistakes I've made. I've made mistakes like this where I'm just like, I just use Tesla as a great example. I just want to be a part of Tesla. I just want to be a part of this new thing, and I'm gonna ride this wave. And then we see what happens with Tesla. And there was a lot of EV stocks like that just years ago when we had the big EV boom, and now the EV boom is dead in the water, and it's probably going to die with the Biden administration here if Trump wins here. And that's not to say EVs are bad. It's just to say there was too many hands at the dinner table with not enough food on the table, and that's what we've seen with these EV stocks, these EV companies. They are just falling apart at this point. And this is why Tesla is shifting into AI, robots, all that, and putting the cars on the side burner. They're obviously still doing that, but if you know, I'm not even, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I'm just kind of going off on a tangent at this point. So key points here, friends. Just allow yourself to make profit. Allow yourself to make profit. If you sell at, you're holding X amount of shares, you sell at $65 and the stock is still going, just don't get too emotional and, just like be like, I should have held. Just be happy, because there, as much as there will be a push, there will be a sell-off. Because, look at what the stock did back in 2022 here. It ran right up to under $100. Right up to under $100. And then what happened? The stock plummeted. Now, is that same scenario going to happen again? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here in 2 weeks. I don't know. We haven't got there. I'm like still fingers crossed that the deal is going to happen at this point. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm like on pins and needles here, just like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I'm as far as we know, it is. But just have a price point what you're happy with, and don't feel left out. If you're in it now, you're more than likely in a good spot. You're more than likely in a good spot. So I just want to wish everyone the best of luck. Obviously, I'm going to continue to talk about digital board acquisition, but I'm just kind of, I'm just trying to talk about the feeling I'm getting. I think everyone here is like, we're ready, we're prepared. A lot of us have been here longer than others, or some are just getting here. Whatever it is, just don't. I know there's all kinds of people in here listening right now. There's investors that are just day traders. There's investors that are short-time traders. There's investors that are long-time traders. But don't, as we're all brothers and sisters in the stock market, don't be naive that there's not people that will say they're going to hold, but when they see, X amount of money in their portfolio, don't be naive to think that person's not going to sell, because this thing, I think the harder it runs here in the next 2 weeks, it's going to have a fall from grace more than likely, especially if we see another crash in the market, which they are predicting. Tom Lee and all them, they are predicting, somewhere at the end of March, April, we could see a market crash, a correction. Is that going to happen? I don't know. They don't know. They're even saying they don't know. They're expecting it because of, this is an election year and we usually see a shift in it. Who knows? Friends, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to shut up. Once again, I just, think about that, chew on that. I didn't say any of that to be mean. I really didn't. These are things that I wish somebody would have told me early on when I was investing. Just don't get too attached. Don't be naive to things. And don't think that everyone's thinking what you're thinking. Look at it in different plays. Look at it in different eyes to what people are doing with this. Because I know there's a lot of you that are on here, you're just like, I love Trump. I'm staying in it. That's great. But I can guarantee you it's going to be a long road to November. It's going to be a bumpy road to November. If you're in here like, I'm just in here for the FOMO, I'm going to catch the money, I'm going to get out, and then I'll be back in here and there. That's more than likely what's going to happen here. Like I said, I've said this. I am not even considering long-term investing in True Social right now until probably December, January, to see where the stock is landing, because Trump we haven't even had the election yet. So I think a lot of this company rides on if Trump wins. I think it'll do well regardless, but I would not pay $41 or $70 for a brand new company at this point that has a lot of money to make and a lot of wiggle room to get through with debt and all this kind of stuff. So just really keep that in mind. Friends, I'm done. Bye. Talk to you later.